Get your degree for 50% of tuition cost. That's thanks to a new program at the Community College of Vermont, where students in more than 20 high-demand fields are enrolling for only half the price.
Right, and this $4 million funding is from the Vermont legislature to offset tuition, and right now it's one-time funding. I checked in to see how this tuition drop could impact fields like early childhood education.
I've always just had a mentality of going where I'm needed, and that's where the need was in our community.
Lindsay Lott switched careers from social work to early childhood education, so she's getting her degree from the Community College of Vermont. She's the director of an after-school program where she says in the field, the applicant pool is small, but the demand for the care is large.
The need was always there, but now that we've kind of opened our doors a little bit more and that we can take on more of those kiddos, we've been able to take on, I think, almost 15 extra kids, which is a pretty big deal in a small town.
There's a critical workforce need of childhood educators in Vermont. Data from the state's Bright Futures information system shows there was a 14% decline of individuals working in regulated child care settings from 2018 to 2020. Currently, CCV Associate Academic Dean Leslie Johnson says there's job openings in essentially all regulated child care centers statewide.
We know that folks who work in these fields are making wages that are not the highest, and part of the equation to increasing those wages is higher education.
Johnson says the early childhood ed program at CCV has doubled since 2019, in large part to different financial investments and grants to make it more accessible.
The key is then retaining those folks. So once they have that education, getting them to stay in the field.
The college says this demonstrates how affordability plays a major role in a student's decision to receive higher education, especially in Vermont with historically low rates of higher educated students compared to the K-12 graduation rate. Early childhood ed is just one of 20 fields now eligible for 50% tuition reduction at CCV. Other fields include healthcare and IT, to name a few. Enrolled students now pay $140 a credit.
That $140 brings us right into the average of community college tuitions nationally.
CCV President Joyce Judy explains that Vermont historically operates on a model different than other states when it comes to funding public higher education, with a comparatively lower funding from the state and higher reliance on tuition. With this new and extra chunk of funding from the state, she says the goal is to encourage students to save money on their education in hopes of setting them up for a job right here in the Green Mountain State.
Our students are Vermonters. They are staying in Vermont. So the best thing we can do is invest in them and help them become really good employers, because they're not coming in for a couple years and leaving. They are going to be here.
And Judy tells me they're already on track to use around $2 million of that $4 million for enrollment this fall.